reviews, discussions, and theories about films in horror, sci-fi, and genre. This is the Horror Deconstruction. Like, share, and subscribe to hear more.
What is up, everybody? It's the Horror Deconstruction. You'll find us on YouTube, Instagram, YouTube. Give us a like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Hit that bell icon with your host, Komp, and
Slam.
today's film is
The Devil's Backbone, 2001.
The Devil's Backbone. Original title, El Espinazo del Diablo, 2001. Ooh. After Carlos, a 12-year-old whose father has died in the Spanish Civil War, arrives at an ominous boys' orphanage, he discovers the school is haunted and has many dark secrets which he must uncover. Directed by Guillermo del Toro, written by Guillermo del Toro, Antonio Trash. Wow, listen to this name. It sounds like a porno movie.
Oh, Trash Horas.
Trash Horas.
You can do the rolling R, right? I can't.
Trash Horas.
I don't know how you do it. I have been trying to do it for a year and a half.
Get better at oral sex. David Munoz.
Will that help?
Starring, I think so, yes.
I need to practice.
I've never had, so I don't know. Starring Marissa Paredes, Eduardo Noriega, Federico Lupi.
Nice.
So, Danny, why did you pick?
Did I pick this?
A long time ago. I was just reminding you. You said, let's do this movie. And I was like, oh.
I guess because it's Guillermo del Toro. And
you know what would have been great if originally I thought this movie was about Satan, like fixing his house, and he falls on his ass, and he goes, oh, my backbone.
And then it's just like him in physical therapy. That's the whole movie.
And you see God like come opening the heavens and going, and he's like shaking.
He has to do those, those little things of stairs that you step up on one, then back down. He has to do that, but it's like made out of human skulls.
The movie, the question of this movie is ¿Qué es un fantasma? Which is, what is a ghost? Which is a question that is asked over and over in this film. So, Danny, can you give us a little recap of what this movie is about?
Yeah, I'll give you a little recap. It's about I guess it's the Spanish Civil War. There's the lefties are hiding children in an orphanage, and they have a stash of gold, and the fascists are trying to win the war, I guess. So
no, Danny, remember, not fascists are evil. So go ahead. Anyway, so they're hiding these kids, right?
So they're hiding the kids, and they have gold, and there's this new boy that's introduced named was he Carlos?
Yes.
And there's a bully, and there's like this nice doctor that runs the orphanage with this woman Carmen, and I don't know, stuff happens.
You know, it'd been great if this movie, like if in another version of the movie, Michael Jackson's a time traveler. He goes, "I save all of you. Come here, little boy."
I wouldn't trust him to be there.
What would you trust, Jacinto or Michael Jackson?
I guess I'd trust Michael Jackson more than Jacinto. But the kids would come out changed. They wouldn't be dead, but they'd come out changed.
That ghost would be running back under that water. So
he'd moonwalk under the water.
Yeah, upside down, grabbing his little buttocks. So there's this little kid, Carlos. Obviously, he does not know that his father's dead. He gets shuffled off by these other dudes who are in this war. There's a far left movement, or I assume leftist movement, so I'm not sure. They have been storaging up was it gold, right?
Yeah.
It looked like silver. I don't know if they couldn't afford
gold.
Gold plating. So they hold up this gold, and they're holding it at this boys' orphanage. I don't know why there's no little girls. I guess girls make it out or something. But for this boys' orphanage, they're hiding this gold because what they plan to do is, they use that gold to get supplies for the kids and stockpile, a safe exit for them to go to, I think, France, right?
Yeah, and, I'm not exact. I can't remember the exact motive. It was to keep them safe and escape.
So in control of the place is Federico Lupi as Dr. Lupi. Yeah, okay. Lupi
He's a very nice man. I love that guy. He's a nice old man.
He can't get his weenie hard, so he resorts to drinking
horrible fetus liquid.
Oh, I was watching it going, oh my God, like, that's got to be poisonous,
Thank God
right?
for Viagra existing now.
Because, I mean, he
should have held out a while.
I know. They have that thing in a bar, I forget what it is, where they have, like, this rum, but it has somebody's severed toe in it, from way back then. And they take it as a shot, and I'm like, I wouldn't.
Yeah, why?
But this is like another thing of I guess Guillermo del Toro, he has an obsession with what they call them pickled Pete's, which are, the formaldehyde babies or inside the little jars and shit.
Why does he have them in a lot of movies? I don't recall
I
that.
think so, because I recently just saw Nightmare Alley, which I really liked. I'm hit or miss with Guillermo del Toro, and apparently everybody in the world is, because either they like, I like Guillermo del Toro as a guy, like as a person, like his passion for movies and his knowledge of it is fantastic.
Yeah.
But I don't usually really connect with his movies, and I don't know why that is. But
He's very hit or miss for me.
yeah, right. So, but this one I really enjoyed. But in Nightmare Alley, they have a pickled Pete in that movie, and here they they have that whole scene with the devil's backbone, which is the title of the film, which I think is spina bifida, when the spine is coming out of the body, for the corpse of this little baby that's inside.
Yeah, spina bifida. I'm looking at the wiki.
So Dr. Caceres is there. He's in control with this woman that he's been in love with for a long time, named Carmen, who has one leg. I assume she lost her leg in the war, maybe, or she must have lost it in some other fashion.
I don't recall what they said.
She just
about
doesn't
that.
have a leg. She just has a. She's not doing a very good acting of having a fake leg too. She's just sort of walking normal. Like, this is pretty.
I thought she was doing an okay job
because she's walking with the crutch. But yeah, so Dr. Caceres, when she was married, her husband, I believe, died. I don't know how they explain how he died, but Dr. Caceres has been in love with her, but he can't really profess his love with her because he can't get a boner for some reason, because he's older than she is.
I mean, there's other stuff you can do.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, because to me it seemed a little bit like of unnecessary stuff, because in Latin movies, like Spaniard movies, our Spanish people, like your Spanish, run into a bathroom and start scrubbing your skin with
I know them, but I am not.
But anyway, so our Spanish people are very passionate, and there's always sex in all these movies, because they realize sex is a part of life, and that happens here because Eduardo Noriega is playing Jacinto, who is the bad guy in the movie, and he's given that as the movie Friday. So
he's a real asshole.
He's knocking the dust off that pussy. So, which I kind of feel bad, because she's an older woman. She's probably in her 50s in this film. She's still alive. She's still acting. Mm-hmm. And he's just knocking it back, and I'm like,
good for him. Good for her.
Yeah. So I mean, she still wants weenies. She still got passion. Women apparently get more passionate when they get older.
I think the sexual peak is at 40.
Yeah, for women, right? And for guys, I think it's like 20. So then,
which isn't true, because I'm hornier than ever.
Yeah, I'm an insane person. So, but the thing is, she knows Dr. Caceres loves her, but since he can't get a boner, he doesn't like. This is like the smallest part of the film. Like, I'm obsessed with it. He could have, he could eat that ass out, but I guess she needs a hard one. Yeah. And what a filthy review for this movie. That's pretty nice.
It's a touching movie, and we had to bring it down.
Yeah, so I guess but that's one of the things you gotta, as the youth say, shoot your shot, fellas, because he could have done stuff for her, but she needed that hard weenie. Mm-hmm. She at least didn't want him to hear it. He's like. She's getting railed in one room, and you see him standing in the darkness, fully dressed, listening to it like it's some
chugging down fetus liquor,
like it's some sort of Japanese porno movie.
He's chugging down fetus liquor and like looking at his dick, like, come on, venga.
He's taking a hammer, hitting his dick head. All right, so the real focus of the movie is obviously Carlos, and the poster for this film and everything sells this as like a horror film, and like you said, it's not. It's like a fantasy.
Yeah, it's not really a horror film.
It's like a war movie with fantasy, and I was like, okay, so this really is.
He gets this like cuddly feeling in his movies. I've noticed.
Right, like this really is what Guillermo has been doing for a long time. He does not treat like the monsters as bad guys. He always treats everybody else as bad guys. And Del Toro is very good with bad guys. Like he makes the biggest
I fucking hated this guy, Jacinto, whatever. Like,
yeah, to me, Guillermo del Toro is the film version of Stephen King, because like Stephen King with his villains,
his villains are horrible.
Oh my god, do I hate the bad guys in Stephen King's books? Like, I'm like, kill these guys, kill them right now. I don't care if it's the second page in the book, but he especially if it's like children who are the main characters, and the thing King loves more than the N-word is to have kids get tortured in films, and that happens with the
I forget which book it was. It was the book with the psychic, played by Christopher Walken.
Dead Zone.
And anyway, he had a character in there, honestly, and he was running for office, and this guy in the beginning kicks a fucking dog to death, and I was so angry, like. it was hard to finish the book. I finished the book just to make sure that like the guy would die, you know.
But yeah, that's what Jacinto is in here in this book, in this film. Jacinto, I was looking at him and I was like, did you ever see Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah, he looks like the
Eli
dude
Roth.
that's also a director who directed that
Eli. He
Brazilian
looks like
earthquake
the
movie.
Bear Jew Eli Roth.
Yeah, Eli Roth. That's
He
it.
does, and I was like, why is he? And then I realized we have seen him in something else.
What?
He was in the movie Thesis.
Is he?
Thesis,
Oh,
yeah.
shit. Oh, cool. Okay.
Apparently, he's a huge star over there in Spain, because he's been in a lot of films and very like.
I didn't even click any of the IMDb's.
Like Tom Cruise made a movie a couple maybe 2000s called Vanilla Sky.
Oh, that's with she's
Cameron
a big
Diaz.
Spanish star. I can't think of her name.
Cameron Diaz. Oh no, you're
not
right.
Cameron Diaz, Penelope
yes,
Cruz.
Penelope Cruz, right.
But spelled
And
with a Z.
originally it was Eduardo Noriega who was playing Tom Cruise's role in the movie called Open Your Eyes. So that was that one, and that was more successful than Vanilla Sky was. But at least it was Tom Cruise trying to do something different than jumping off of a roof or something. So anyway, we also have Carlos, who is this kid who is just moving into this area. He thinks he's going to be picked up by his dad after the war. He thinks he's going to get the hell out of here, and there's all these kids
Carlos,
here.
you're so wrong.
And it was very wholesome with the bullies, because I was like, the movie, the way the movie starts out, with the kid.
I
obviously.
knew the bully was going to become a good guy.
Well, yeah. Well, I didn't know. Well, and also they did that red herring of the bully possibly killing Santi.
I didn't fall for that either. I knew that the bully was going to be a good guy because you could feel the vibe of the movie. Like, it doesn't feel like that type of movie.
Yeah. So what happens in this film is that Santi is this kid who gets killed earlier in the film. We just see him with like some sort of rock next to. I thought he was hit over there with a rock, but we found out it was something else. And there was a bomb that was dropped by this plane. Really, really beautiful looking film. The way that it looks, like I don't know what the budget for this film was, and it wasn't like they were going anywhere crazy with locations. But there's that great shot with the plane and the hangar, and I'm sure those were
it was a
miniatures and stuff like that.
$4.5 million budget, which in 2001, so maybe like a $15 million budget. It's a pretty small budget.
Yeah, but it looked great. And Santi is this ghost who appears throughout the film. He doesn't. Like at the beginning, you just see him as a reflection on a door, and I'm like, wow,
I'm not peeing, I'm pouring tea, just so you know.
And I'm like, that's his euphemism for peeing. And there was like the shot of like him as a reflection on the door, and I was like, it was like a long shot, so you see him. Like, it's not like some sort of quick glimpse that's just scary. So it's just like he's just an actual character in the movie. He isn't like.
How did they do that awesome, like, blood flowing upwards
That's obviously
from
like
water
CGI.
effect?
That's like a computer CGI.
But they didn't have CGI, really. It was 2001.
Yes,
that was like Mortal Kombat.
When did Mortal
Kombat?
Kombat? Yeah, Mortal Kombat came out in 1999. So this is like the same amount.
But it looked good. It didn't look like fucking Reptile, you know?
It's because that's people who cared. These are people who
Remember
cared
the
about how it looked. Oh, boy. If you want to see Balky tearing up newspapers,
I love that movie, but
CGI
that
movies,
is the worst CGI.
We should do that movie one day. It's awful. The graphics in that movie. We never did it. I love when
Yeah,
Danny
we
says
did.
that I will bet you $1,000 right
No,
now.
I can't. I just spent so much money on a computer.
So anyway,
Well, why didn't we do it? Let's do it.
Okay, so Santi is this kid who got killed. We find out later that it wasn't even actually Jacinto that did it. He just like a cartoon character. He ran into a wall and killed himself. So Jacinto is all this time.
No, he got pushed into a wall.
No, he turned around and ran into the wall, and cracked his head open. He didn't push him into the wall. Believe me, I paid attention. So what Jacinto did was wrong. Was he was dying? Santi was dying, but he tied him up and threw him in the water. So he did kill him. Because all this time, Jacinto's looking for this. He wants to get that gold. I don't know. It doesn't say how long.
Gold.
It doesn't say how long the time passed between Santi getting killed. I guess maybe a month or something. I could assume. But Santi's already come back as an evil, not an evil ghost, but just sort of this walking ghost. He doesn't even really seem that.
I'm an evil ghost.
He doesn't even really seem that important to the story. He just sort of seems like an element just to like heighten the film.
Who's Santi? I think he's important to the story. What do you mean?
What does he do?
I mean, he gets justice on this fucking fascist.
I know, but if he wasn't in the movie, how would he affect the movie?
Well, I think he's just supposed to show how bad this guy is and, like,
Yeah, but he
this
does
place
everything.
is,
Everything
like,
else he
cursed
does
and
is bad.
everything.
Everything else he does is bad. It's not like anything it's not like he would have been a nice character without Santi in the film.
Leave me alone.
I think he makes a good. He's obviously a good addition. He's sort of like a if you had a dramatic film.
He's the kids, like, he's like their little what's boogeyman sort of guy, like a legend that the kids have about to know that this place is like cursed and shit.
He's essentially like if you were watching Godfather, and then suddenly there was like a Sasquatch in the middle of it, and you're like, what the fuck is this about? And he's like, I can't believe I just saw a big Sasquatch. That's the worst impression I've ever done of anybody. And so
I knew who you were doing.
Thank you. And so there's also Dr. Caceres, who becomes a ghost later. Apparently, like, a lot of people die here, but only certain people turn into ghosts. Can you imagine that poor stupid lady?
Well, is it the bomb that's like making them a ghost?
I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting thing because
I kind of thought that. You remember we saw that movie? I think it was in Iran or Iraq.
Oh yes,
it's about
below down under or
under the shadows.
Under the shadows, yes.
Something like that. Yeah. Like, and the bomb has a demon in it, a jinn. Like, maybe it's like that kind of a deal. Is
that what happened in that movie? I don't remember.
I kind of took it that way. I don't know.
Oh, okay, that's pretty interesting. But there was like which I thought was like this MacGuffin where I thought this bomb was gonna explode in the film because they're always talking about you listen to the heartbeat of this bomb. There's a bomb that did not discharge, and then they defused it, but it's this giant like bomb that's in the middle of the orphanage, and anyway, so but the thing is, Dr. Caceres comes back as a ghost and he's opening the door. That was a nice little fake out because you think it's Jacinto getting that kid who just fucked up his ankle. Oh, but what happens to the lady with one leg? Like, she's not coming back as a ghost. And that lady.
If I were her, instead of keeping gold in my leg, I would have kept like a gun or something.
Yeah,
or like a golden gun, like GoldenEye or
Scaramanga,
like.
yeah. Or also that incredibly stupid lady who walked next to oil cans and tried to I was laughing. I was like,
that wasn't good. You know what I felt the worst for was the amazing fiance, and she was so hot and pretty and nice.
Oh my god,
she was a teacher.
I think she was like 19 or something because she's only like 40.
No, she was like 21. She was of legal age. Leave me alone.
And
you know what? I was thinking of her existing now as a mature woman.
She's actually very beautiful too. She looks like nothing cracked on her. Irene Vicedo. She's a very young lady. She serves as this sort of youthful crush for. You know what's weird about Jaime, the bully kid?
How could she not tell though that he was like a monster? Like, oh my god,
dude, come on, listen. These. Are you surprised? Are you really surprised by that?
This guy's like obviously
I know, but
terrible.
are you surprised? Are you surprised
I'm
that
not surprised.
In reality how we deal? Like, you and I are like attracted to some evil women, just like women are attracted to some evil men. It's like, you know, when you like hear about Hitler with Ava Braun. Like, could you imagine? Like, she was attracted to his power, and he's like, yeah. Strap it on here, baby. She goes, God, I love you, Hitler. Yeah, come here. Show me.
Well, she would call him Adolf, I think.
Yeah, all right.
She wouldn't call him his last name.
Well, maybe she likes the power of it. It's almost like, when somebody calls you Mr. something or other.
I guess.
Like, oh, boy, what a movie that would be. Anyway, so, yeah, Conchita's around. She's sort of...
Yeah, she is.
She's conflicted that Jacinto... She's not even pissed off that he was banging the old lady. He was giving her that heart. What would she do?
And she was like 20. She was 24 when this was filmed. So
really? Oh, she's a little baby. Yeah. She looks like a little kid. She's so pretty though, and but she doesn't really do much other than be like this angelic presence in the.
And I was so upset when he gave the ring back to the bully guy.
Oh yeah,
oh god, I wanted to jump through the screen.
Pretty cruel. I was surprised that the Spanish movie didn't have Jaime have sex with that lady because you'd be surprised at the fucking shit they put in Spanish movies. But,
no, I wouldn't. I've seen a bunch now.
That's true. So yeah, Jaime, I was ready to. Luckily, his heel turn. He's not a heel turn because his face turn is pretty quick. He turns into like one of the boys. Like, they becomes like a little bit of Goonies thing here in this movie where the kids get along because
I felt like in movies like this it's like he's a bully obviously because he's just upset about his dad being dead, but like he very quickly became a good guy. Yeah,
because he could have turned into Jacinto. Like, he was very much on the way to become Jacinto, and I think it was because he was so angry at himself that he didn't say anything about Santi's death. which I thought was interesting. And he was just so pissed off all the time because he obviously had that other bully asshole friend of his. I think that kid blew up, right? So that was fine with me. And, no, sorry. And you know, they get along, but then this is where they get into the whole mythology of the ghost. And there's that question with Dr. Caceres puts on. He goes, "What is a ghost?" You know, you hear that voiceover. Is it me, or is it you, or is it people that have died, or is it really, you know, people who live on with nothing left to live for? And that's really what this movie is about. It's about, you know, these are people who are all from broken homes. These are children whose
And the whole country is broken too.
Right. These are children whose relatives are essentially dead. This is people who are in a country that are in a fucking war with each other.
They're like 1 year past where the USA is now.
Right. Like Jacinto was, I don't know what his chip on his shoulder was. I think they treated him like shit the whole time he was living in that.
I think he was like always bad because it showed clips of him like flashbacks of him trying to get the gold like in the past too.
Yeah, but you got to wonder what happened to him as a child himself. Like, something must have happened that pissed him off.
Same thing happened to all the other kids, but they didn't fucking become him.
Yeah. So I think what happened is when Carlos showed, like, humanity towards Jaime, you know, but by not
he didn't turn them in either when they were such assholes.
I think that's what it was. He didn't give up. He was just sort of like, and that's what I liked about Carlos. He wasn't like a pussy. You know, he was just like he was like a strong kid. Like, he fought back, you know, stuff like that. Because usually in movies like this, you're there for half an hour watching a kid be a pussy, and then you get that sort of instant, you get that relief of when he actually punches the kid back. Like,
what I don't understand is how did these kids not see Santi at this point, or how did Jacinto not see him at that point?
Yeah, because it's gotta be some time.
Because he's not like exactly hidden; he's right out there.
Yeah, he's in that little pool house or whatever that.
Maybe Carlos was like the kid from fucking Sixth Sense or something.
Maybe. I mean, didn't they eventually all see him, or they don't? They don't, right? Nobody sees him besides
no,
Jacinto,
but I mean,
right?
well, I think Jacinto sees him as he's getting dragged down.
Yeah. But boy, what a scary. But the way they fucking killed him, man.
What stinks though is that they should have gotten that gold back. They really should have gone down.
Yeah, and you see Jacinto. I mean, you see
as
a
Jewish New Yorker, I was looking at it like, come on, guys, jump down there.
But another thing that Del Toro is really good at is that killing his bad guys. Because boy, oh boy, oof! Like,
I was very happy. Oh, when he got stabbed in the armpit, that was
great. Because that's. I mean, you're dead when you're stabbed like that. Because that's got to be an artery there. You're fucking toast.
No matter what, you're gonna be in a lot of fucking pain.
Toast. Yeah, right. So they just stab him, and I was like, Jesus Christ! Because I was thinking about the death of the guy in another movie that he calls the sister version of this movie, which is the Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh God, when he bashes in that guy's face.
Yeah, in the beginning, which was like reminding me of this movie this horrifying but very good movie called Irreversible, where they bash a guy's face in with a fucking fire extinguisher. It was he must have seen that.
I know that one. Yeah.
But so Pan's Labyrinth is like the female version of this movie because it has like a little girl lead. That's what he calls it. He said this is the brother film and that's the sister film. And the way the bad guy gets gets shot in the face and his eye turns in the other direction. It's one of those like disturbing things that's small, but it's like really like upsetting to look at. But the way that Jacinto gets taken out, and it was, I liked seeing Jacinto was a real scumbag, and he played him really well. Eduardo Noriega is really good at playing a really like.
I was glad those fucking assholes left, because if they hadn't, those kids definitely would have died.
I would have liked to see them all get killed in comedic.
Yeah, but how are they going to kill that fucking 400-pound pig guy? Like,
in comedic Home Alone fashion. That would have been some funny stuff.
Yeah.
Dropping a can of beans on his head. That's a racist joke. Also, Dr. Caceres dies in a very, beautiful ways in his chair with his shotgun. He doesn't make it out. He comes back as a ghost and does stuff. So it's one of those weird, wacky movies where somebody will come back as a ghost to help you for 5 seconds. In reality, it won't happen in real life. I've seen that a couple of times where there's no other ghost helping anybody else in this movie. These like I saw the.
I like the idea. Like, I would come as a ghost just for a limited amount of time and just destroy the lives of my enemies. Like, I would.
I would too. That's called The Crow.
I would. Just, I never saw that. I know that's crazy.
You really never saw The Crow?
I really never saw it.
We got to do that one. That's a great movie. That still holds up.
Does that count as horror?
Huh? Yeah,
Does it
well,
count?
it's a
I know
murder.
that's
It's
Dwight
a revenge
Schrute's
horror.
favorite movie.
He's a revenant, so he's like a dead guy that came back. So it's a good.
I
movie.
I wouldn't do anything like killing them or anything. I would just like.
I would.
them.
I don't care.
No.
cares?
I'd like somehow record the worst things they've said and then like leave voice messages on the people they said it about, phones, like things like that. I would ruin their lives.
So you'd be like,
I would drive them to suicide. When they
there'd be,
committed
like, some-
suicide, I'd be free to go.
there'd be like somebody at a gossip website, and you hear whoa, and you see a floating USB. Goes in front of the computer, and they put it on as a guy saying racist words. But that's what I would do. Like if I was the Crow, because the Crow only went and killed the people who killed him. But if I was the
Yeah.
Crow, I'd stay and then just start fucking up everybody else who pissed me off for like the smallest things. I'd be,
Yeah, I'd go down a list, like every little thing. It would end at like
just call it the nitpicking Crow.
like people who like didn't hold a door for me or something. Like
By then you should call it the Raven, because ravens like remember stuff. Like if
yeah,
you,
they're pretty cool.
Isn't there ravens that remember stuff? Like if you throw like a rock
For
at
like
them,
generations, they
Yeah,
pass it down.
they'll like. I think they can talk to each other, which is funny.
Yeah. There have been
so
studies
yeah.
about. There's a famous Seattle study. Anyway, go on.
You know what's weird about oh my God, Inicio Garces, the one who plays Jamie, the bully kid. He's
Yeah,
actually
Jaime.
He's 1 year younger than the main kid, and he's like,
Oh wow,
I could imagine this
it's
kid
like a
like
head
9.
taller.
Yeah, it's like, it was like this guy's like 9 feet tall compared to him. But yeah, what were things? Was there anything that didn't work for you?
I mean, it's not really a horror movie. I'll say that. Like, there's nothing scary in this movie to me.
Okay, yeah, no, because like, with Del Toro, like nothing scares me because he makes everything look so beautiful. Like it's like gorgeous looking film, and especially this is like 2000.
But I mean, so is like Antichrist, but that scared me.
Right. Well, I mean that scares anybody with a penis, but like this movie is
Or
also
a vagina.
That's well, yeah. Or you're right. Now that I think, oh man, remember cutting that clitoris? Oh,
wait, that's a spoiler
Why'd you remind
alert.
me? People know. And there's talking foxes in that movie. It's scary. It's beyond frightening. But
Chaos.
rains. But with this, it's like it's also a movie in the 2000s, and you know how the 2000s had like an aesthetic to it, where it's
Yeah.
just like like it makes you like go back and go, this is why we all watch like retro TV, because like
I do feel like the 90s were like the glory age, but I think we have some pretty good stuff now too.
right, of course,
But there's so much bad stuff mixed in. That's what sucks.
absolutely. We've figured out streaming or television. We figured it out by now, because everybody's scared to go outside. But there's such
Yeah.
a look at 2000s and late 90s sort of film that looked so incredible. Even the ghost, according to this, Santi was inspired by Ju-on's ghost. The little boy that meows like a cat and stuff like that. I've never seen the Ju-on movies, but I guess that's
I don't
what
know.
he's borrowing for that. But like, I think that the film works in general. It works, and it works because, like I said, I'm not really crazy about Del Toro's movies. Like I haven't seen anything that really even like people love Blade Part 2. I love Blade 1.
It's okay.
Right. Blade 1 to me.
Did he do Blade 1?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
That's why I'm about to shit on Blade 2, because Blade 2 felt like some sort of weird amalgamation of Alien with something else. Aliens, excuse me.
Wait, is Blade 2 the one with the dogs that have there's a dog in it that has the vampire where their mouths go out predator-like?
It started in the second one. Maybe that's probably the third one, which I wouldn't even bother talking
At one
about.
point, he had like a little Shih Tzu or whatever, and the Shih Tzu's
Could've been the
mouth
second one,
opened
yeah.
up like a vampire. It was pretty
But
fun.
all I remember is like watching Blade 2 going, ooh, and like Hellboy, like I love the world of Hellboy, but there was something off about it. Like I thought the second movie was pretty fun, but
I
don't
like
know.
the first one better.
Oh, really? Okay. But and then also, what was that? Pacific Rim, and it's like
Never saw that
couldn't-
one. I heard
I
it was
couldn't-
amazing.
it's like it's a giant robot movie, but the fight takes place at night because obviously it's like CGI. You can't really have robots that size. But although I'm sure Elon Musk and your best friend Bezos are creating it, and it's all shot like the fights are happening at night.
Will they
Like,
fight each other and rid humanity of their blight?
And I could not see shit in that movie. And I'm in a big giant theater, and I was like, I couldn't see shit. I was like, I'm in a theater, I can't see what's going on. Nightmare Alley, I really enjoyed though. That I would suggest you should watch that. If you take
What do
somebody
you
on a date.
What do you about that? What do you want to rate this shit?
All right, this is Danny wanted to get out of here. I would give this movie an 8 out of 10. It's a solid little movie. It's It's got a great atmosphere to it. It's got great acting, great bad guy, great look to it. It feels like a nostalgic movie. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Banging out that old lady. She should have done that stuff. Like, have you ever seen that? There's a classic like porno clip of this guy with one leg, and this.
But you know, he's banging her, and it's like, don't you hear the gold jingling around inside her leg?
He probably didn't even know when she was shoving it up his ass. That's what it was when he's turning
true.
around. But there was this porn movie from the 70s, and it's like this woman. I gotta show you this clip. This woman walks into a room, and it's like a guy with a stump for a leg. It's either her or him. I don't know, but it's.
I would have a giant double-headed.
No, but I think it's a woman with like a leg, but it looks like, you know, when the leg is cut off, and I think it was born that way, and it looks like a chicken wing kind of leg.
Come on.
And then she puts the stump in his ass.
Oh no.
And he's like, "Oh,
I don't
yeah,
want to see it.
yeah."
Don't send me that.
It's great. It's incredible. It's like
see
seeing a unicorn. Like, you can't believe it. Anyway, 8 out of 10. Banging out the old lady and her legs in another part of the room. Danny, what rating would you give?
I agree. An 8
Devil's
out of
Backbone.
10. 8 out of 10. Stabbing a fascist in the armpit with a stick,
Ooh.
and then
How fast did you
watching
beat
him
off to
get
that?
dragged down to his death, but not having the inherent greed that I have to think that children should jump into a ghost pit and retrieve the gold. Because
So
if I was there, I would have made one of them do it, because I don't know how to swim.
So technically, I think he was a leftist, but I think he was a
No, he
fascist
was
because he
not.
was
He was a
controlling those kids,
fascist.
right? Well, he was controlling those kids and telling them what to do, so that made him a fascist. So technically, you're right. With
No,
that-
he fought for the fascists.
No, but wasn't he in an area for the leftists?
Well, yeah, he was like an infiltrator. Those people
Oh, I
that
didn't
came,
pay
that pig guy
attention.
and shit, they were the big pig. His name was Pig, I think.
Yeah.
He was a fascist. Like,
Okay, good.
he was
Oh, so
trying to
fuck
get
him.
the gold so he could just like steal, you know. Well, okay, maybe he wasn't like formally a fascist, but like he was not a leftist. He didn't support them.
All right, very good, Danny. It's wonderful. With that, Danny, what's the final word?
Fascists.